It's working good.
Hi, I'm Joe, and welcome to City Boat Werks. Let's get to work. Welcome to my workshop. If you're new to the channel, I want to welcome you, and if you're one of the returning subscribers, I'm glad you're back. Now, if you're new to the channel, you may not know, but MotorCity Boat Werks is about the nuances of amateur boat building and boat restoration. It's about how I'm restoring the pocket trawler that's behind me, and of course, the other sailboat projects that I have in my workshop. I do things a little bit differently in the Boat Werks. I like to take you through the steps, the tips, all the little tricks and the lessons that I learn as I'm doing my various boat restoration and boat building projects. I like to bring you to the very end, the moment of completion, when the project is actually finished and you can see and understand how we got there and what it all means. This is the 7th episode in a series about how I'm rebuilding the bathroom in my pocket trawler. It's taken almost 8 weeks, but I've come full circle, all the way back to the original project that I first started before Christmas. I'm installing FRP shower panels in the head of my Albin 27. This episode, I'm hoping for a moment of completion. I'm hoping to get the shower panels finally installed in the head of my pocket trawler. What we're going to be doing today is putting up the FRP shower panels inside the head on the boat. I've pre-cut all the shower panels. I've dry fitted everything with the trim strips, so everything kind of fits the way it's supposed to. You may hear some noise in the background, but that's the heater in the shop running. In order to do this project, I had to make sure that I got the shop up to about 55 degrees and kept it there for an extended period of time. This is in order for the glue and everything to set properly. The FRP adhesive is made specifically for these panels. You might be tempted to use some type of contact cement or maybe even some liquid nails, but it doesn't cover enough surface area to really grab onto the panel. The working time of the adhesive is approximately 20 minutes, so things need to be laid out ahead of time and you need to move with a sense of purpose. The tools that I needed for this project consisted of a metal spatula, a 1/4 inch notch trowel, a rubber roller like you might use to put down formica on a countertop, some blue tape for masking, and some silicone sealant on the trim pieces. Because of this, the edges that are adjacent to the bulkhead need to be taped off to ensure an easy cleanup. There's 3 panels that have to be put up, and they have to be put up in a certain order, starting with the most outboard panel, the one closest to the portholes, and working towards the doorway. And hopefully, there'll be no issues. We'll see. I've never done this before, and this is kind of my best understanding. The sealant that we're using on the trim pieces is a silicone mix. I wanted something that had silicone in it, but also could be paintable in case any of it gets on the wall and I need to put some paint on. And so it's anti-mildew. It should work really well inside the shower. The purpose of the sealant in the trim pieces is just to kind of make a watertight finish all the way around. It really doesn't matter inside the shower because we have a Cusa board bulkhead, but the bulkhead behind that, the one that originally came from the factory, well, that is plywood, marine plywood. So we just want to reduce any opportunity for water to get behind the bulkhead and cause any kind of problems. So, and also we don't want mold or anything growing behind the panel or anything like that. So we seal all the edges as best we can. The way this is going to start is we're going to start by putting some silicone sealant on the trim pieces, have those set aside, ready to go. Then I'll start putting the FRP adhesive. It's like a mastic, and I'll use a trowel to put that on the wall. And instead of putting the adhesive on the panel and then having to move the panel around in such tight confines, what I'm going to do is put the adhesive on the wall and then affix the panel to the wall. We'll roll it out to get the air bubbles out of it, make sure it's all aligned and proper. We'll put the trim piece on each panel as we go along. So we'll do the first panel, mastic on the wall, panel on the wall, trim piece onto the panel, then we'll start the next spot. Oh yeah, we got this. Who's with me? The first step is to begin laying some of the FRP adhesive onto the bulkhead. Now normally you put the adhesive onto the panel. Because the interior of the boat is kind of constricting, it's easier to put the adhesive on the bulkhead and then affix the panel. It's very similar to how you lay tile. You don't want your lines to be all vertical. You kind of want them to have a circular pattern so that it covers the surface really well. All right, let's see what happens here. All righty. Now it's time to put the panel onto the wall. Basically like that, and like this, and like so. Nice. Okay. And then you can hear it squeezing out the bubbles. Hear it? Hear that popping? Another trim. Finally, we put the trim onto the panel. This is kind of crazy right here. Let's see how this goes. Prep this first. We're going to go all the way to the wall there. Looks like it's going to be a whole bucket. It's really messy, so we'll see how well it cleans up after the fact. Right now I'm just trying to spread material and get it on here. I can't stress enough that you need to clean as you go to avoid a mess or to avoid contaminating other surfaces as you work. Yeah, this is it. Now on this second panel, we put the panel into the trim and then mount it to the wall. Hear it? If you listen carefully, you'll be able to hear the air bubbles popping as you roll across the panel. Get that? See it? See it? That's squeezing out the air bubbles. Nice. Roll from the center outward and then work your way top to bottom. Good seal. Okay. A project this size used almost an entire bucket of adhesive. Be sure to clean as soon as possible to avoid the glue drying. Solvents like acetone can damage the FRP panels. Before everything dries, clean with warm water only. Woo! It's working good! I was really surprised that each panel took around 45 minutes to an hour to do. It was 20 minutes of time working with the adhesive, but it was at least another 20-30 minutes to clean everything up to move on to the next panel. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. It took a little bit of work and there were many steps involved to get to this point, but I think it came out pretty well. I'm very happy with it. We'll do a little bit of caulking along the edges and kind of wrap everything up, but we're going to call this project done and we'll mark it off the big board. Getting the shower panels installed means that I'm now one project away from finishing phase one. There's only one thing left to do before we can move on to phase two and start installing all the systems and components and rebuilding the boat on the inside. I'll be back soon with the beginning of the headliner project. In the meantime, check out some of my other videos and bring yourself up to speed. I'll see you again soon. Thank you for stopping by. Stay motivated.
If you like these videos, please hit the subscribe button. These videos would not be possible without your support.